Hello, you're watching The Luna Show, and right now I have an exclusive because I've been after her for weeks and years and months to try to get her to interview. Ladies and gentlemen, Mariah Revlon, one of my favorite people in the scene. The reason why she's one of my favorites is because she's beautiful inside and outside, but she always represents in a positive, and like her energy is just beautiful, and I just love Mariah for that. So that's why I always wanted to get Mariah. So ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Mariah Revlon.
Hello everyone.
A legend, almost an icon in my eyes. What projects are you working on right now?
Okay, currently I am giving up the ballroom scene slightly but surely because I work now, and like my life is about making sure I do the next best thing for me. I came out in 1991, started walking balls, and for years they were entertaining, and now I'm moving on. But I still come to balls, but I don't think nothing can be changed to what I've done already in the ballroom scene. So now I'm having more futuristic plans with my personal life.
Okay. And so tell me a little bit about your ballroom history, since you've been around since the early 90s.
Well, I came out as a butch queen, and the first ball I wore, I remember the commentator chopping me saying, "I'm sorry, Miss Thing, you're too cunt." So being a Scorpio and a challenging and competitive person that I am inside of an arena, I decided to say, okay, these faggots tried it. So I went back to DC, came back to New York City, and been winning balls ever since. That's kind of like my life history in the ballroom scene.
And you were a Revlon at that time still? Or?
At the time I was an Ebony. I was an Ebony first.
Oh, okay.
And I have lost balls, but I can't recall as many losing balls as many times as I've won. Just being a competitive Scorpio, and when I come to balls, I come to destroy and not play no other games.
So you started off, what's your earliest category? You used to walk runway and performance?
My original category that I came into the scene was for runway, yes.
And that was Butch Queen Runway?
Butch Queen Runway, yes.
And then what made you want to, change and start doing female figure runway? And
I never decided to become a girl until I almost had a tremendous experience that happened to me. I almost died from tuberculosis. And when I recovered fully from that, I wanted to change my whole outlook on life. That was my only reasons of becoming a female figure.
Oh, okay. And so what's your life now like as a female figure? Is there like, what's the difference? How do you feel inside?
Believe it or not, I feel more open-minded to myself. And as a butch queen, I was always wanting to be in women's clothing, but not wanting to be a woman. And then when I decided to become a woman, everything kind of like went hand in hand.
And so, how do you see yourself in the future in terms of connected to the ballroom, but not necessarily like what's Mariah gonna do with the ballroom scene?
Being that I'm very gifted and multi-talented, I'm pretty sure that I will probably be one of the people that would take the ballroom scene to another level with the talents that I have.
Do you have you been watching the Vogue Evolution kits on television?
Yes, I'm very amazed.
Do you think that you'll be able to do stuff like that in the future, like try to go mainstream and do big things?
But much better and powerful.
Okay. And so, in terms of your career, what direction do you want to go with that?
Well, in my personal own life career, I want to be a I want to be a licensed social worker, and also express my talent in many different ways as well.
Because how many talents you have? Because I know you as being a multitasking woman, like you do everything. Like you runway, you Vogue, you do arts control, like you do so much.
I definitely.
Oh, and you sing? I didn't even know that.
I used to. I don't sing as much anymore. Throughout the years of me just like not pursuing my career, I kind of like let it drift away. But I can really sing.
That's awesome.
I mean, I do a lot. I'm just multitasked and multi-talented. And growing up from Washington, D.C., New York was a place where I had to get to express that. Because living down there, I was so sheltered.
So is there a difference from D.C. and New York in terms of growing up?
Yes.
Okay. And so since you've seen the 90s and Since you've seen the 90s and now we're in the millennium and the new, century.
Yes.
Where do you see the ballroom going? Like, what direction would you like to see the ballroom going? But how do you see it going to a new level?
First questions first. How do I see it going? In order for you to speak about balls, in order for you to claim you know about balls, you have to know that how it was back then will not be how it is now, because life is about evolving. So we may say back then, oh, balls ain't like they used to be, and the new generation here is saying balls are much better. I think you as a person just needs to be open-minded and explore and take new challenges, because I'm never afraid of the new things that's going on, even though they were much funner back then, where you get to battle 10, 11 people at a time and walk home with a grand prize.
Okay, so you see it going in a positive place?
I won't say positive. I see it still going on, and they'll still produce, as in getting nationwide and all over the country. But they're not as competitive, and they're not as creative as they was back then.
Do you think because of Vogue evolution and things like that, opportunities that we've had in the mainstream world, do you think that ballroom would be okay in the mainstream world?
Yeah.
Or would you prefer it
It would produce more people into the ballroom scene, as well as being the ballroom scene is an underground community. You have people that are multi-talented and that are so skillful that can branch outside the scene and pull others in, or pull celebrities in. But one day it may be, we never know. But it's already a fashion show anyway, so it can't get no bigger.
So what's one thing you would like people to know about Mariah Revlon?
That I'm 34 years old, and all my life I've been a child of God and always been genuine to myself.
And tell me, what's one positive thing you would like for young people that are watching this? One words of wisdom from Mariah.
Wow, I have many, but one would be to continue to never let no one accept you for you. Meaning that God placed us all here as individuals, so we have to, as a person, understand that reason and not let nothing else get in your way. And I've been living that way for 34 years and still counting.
And beautiful as ever.
Well, thank you. I try my best.
Well, thank you for this opportunity.
Anytime.
Is there anything else you would like us to know about Mariah before we leave?
No matter what no one ever will ever say about me, just know that my heart is golden. And nothing or no one else can take that from me but my higher power. That's it.
And I believe
and
that.
to all the haters as well. Because I hear my name in a lot of things, and I'm such a nice girl. I'm gagging how my name be, running across the fan mail. But it's cool though, because being as powerful as I am, it happens. So I can take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah. So, well, how do you feel about that though? Because when people are doing positive things and wonderful things, your name is still, dragged on the mud. So,
okay.
How will you address that to people?
Quick story about my personal history. Me growing up with any parents, I didn't have no one to believe in but my higher power. And from that, I've always believed just in him. So human beings are really not my forte.
Well, thank you, Mariah.
You're welcome.
I love you down, and
I love you too.
You continue to inspire generations of kids.
Thank you.
And you're a beautiful person.
I want to reverse the interview as well and just tell you that I've always admired you as a person as well. For the things and accomplishments that you have done. And not being from New York City, don't think that I'm not wise enough to know my surroundings and who do what. And that's another thing that makes me so powerful as a legendary person. I just won't crown people just legendary. They have to really be there, and I have to look at them like another version of me. This motherfucker has been there and did his shit. Not just winning 2 balls and then you legendary. It takes a long time to get where we at, and thank God that we're still here and breathing. But at the same moment, I want to commend you on being such a positive role model as well. And I love you too.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.